one of my favorite section in Capture One are local adjustments. So let's move there. We have pretty much all of the things that we were doing before. We have the same panels, the same options, but why is it so comfortable for me to work here? First of all, the mentioned thing that I have everything in one place, and other thing is this local adjustments panel, this small panel, and it's giving you tremendous control on retouching because you can simply create new layers and mask them out just in case if you want to apply, for example, different color into this specific area. So something that actually Camera Raw doesn't offer, except the colors, we have also this, and this is super powerful that has Capture One. But let's start very simple. I'm going to open color editor at first, and I barely use this basic color editor. I always go straight away to advanced, and we have this picker, this little picker over here. We can just hit this, and what will happen? I have already some chosen things here. So the first view should be rather that way. And I'm going to take this eyedropper, this picker, whatever you want to call it. And let's say I want to do something with the background. So I'm simply going to hit on the background and it picks up the color that I have. We have all of the informations that exist over here. And also starting from the top, we can set the smoothness on the color. We can set the hue on the color, saturation and lightness. So for example, I think this background is a little bit too warm. I can go down with hue and, well, it doesn't look well right now. Maybe the background looks interesting, but it didn't go the right way, and it even didn't go colder. So as you can see, with this, with help over here, coming local adjustments, because right now the color was too weak to do something with him because it was very universal, very neutral color. So we affected the model's face. So I would not do anything here without creating new local adjustment layer. I would go to local adjustment layer and we can simply hit this plus button, and what is happened? New layer. I would just call it BG like the background, and right now we can do the mask. So let's familiarize ourselves what means everything over here. We can choose the brush settings after we choose the brush, of course. So I have brush right now and it allows me to paint in the area. So this is simply masking. We can set the size of our brush, of course, but we can do this also manually, the same way as we do this in Photoshop. Also, we can set the hardness. I usually would work with middle soft to not affect the edges too much and to keep full control. Opacity and flow, so same as in Photoshop, I keep them as 100 right now, and usually I work with 100 because mostly I'm using this for masking, so I want to mask to be fully covered. And also we have option like auto mask and use pen pressure. So pen pressure, I'm working using Wacom tablet, so pen pressure always on. And also why auto mask? Because if we work without auto mask, maybe I'm going to show you. If I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to paint, as you can see, it doesn't refine the edges. So I'm going to do steps back and I'm going to hit auto mask. So when I use auto mask, what you can see, it refined the edges. So super powerful for the image as we have right now. I would absolutely use this for the image. It can define the hair. It makes your work easier. So I'm going to paint around very quickly the areas that I actually want to do, the areas I want to work with, because I want to do something with this background. I don't want to just to have gray background, let's say. Okay, so we mask our layer, which we call BG. Now we can go back to color editor once again. Let's pick the color, whatever we want. And now, like when I do something, you can actually notice very small difference because the color is still very universal, so it wasn't so easy, but you can already see the difference. We only affected the hair a little bit over here. This is not the problem, because what I would do, I would choose erase mask. So I need to hit on this and then erase mask, and then I can simply erase this area if it bothers me. So no difficulties at all, and that's how I would work with this. Of course, this is not the adjustments I would truly want to apply, but we could work much more right now. We could try to find to define the color we really want, and the more we apply, the better maybe it could look, because I would go more into blue color with every new adjustment layer. So like I would be getting into something nicer, something colder, not these red colors. Of course, I would have to fix over here, but the basic idea behind how I work with this, I believe it's fully understandable, and it's super powerful for portrait images, because sometimes the background is too similar to the portrait, so we need to work a little bit with this to make it looking better. And the other thing, I'm going to switch off my BG layer and I'm going to color editor right now, and we have also option called skin tone. So skin tone works very similar as advanced. We have this eyedropper once again, and we can choose the skin tone that we want to work with. And we have also the same options like hue, saturation. We can go down with hue to change the hue. Of course, the thing you can notice, it doesn't affect your image that strong anymore. And that's why I choose the skin tone option over here to work with my skin, because if I work with advanced, if I move hue or saturation, it will be really strong affection. And right now, it affects the skin very softly. Also saturation, I can go fully down and it won't be fully saturated, and fully up and it won't be fully saturated. So this is absolutely powerful tool, and I love to work with this in Capture One. And also we have something like uniformity. So you have to be really careful with it. It works well if we have a lot of saturate, like different colors on the face. It's nicely uniform right now. As you can see, I move uniformity to 100, and the skin tone seems to be a little bit even out. Though I have to openly say it will not always work that good on the white skin as it works on the black skin, because usually the white skin has a lot of, like, the lips in this case are very pinky. So when I move this up, as you can notice, they lose this natural color and the image become looking flat. So I really barely use uniformity. I was working with different model that had different skin color, was dark skinned, and it worked really great for her. Like, I really loved to use this, especially that I wanted to apply some specific effect. Image was a little bit desaturated, so it works for certain image. For other images, not always, especially if you have different lips color, it will not be working. Of course, then don't really depend on the skin color, but also on the makeup, because when you have a model with red lips, you don't want to use uniformity that much because it could affect your lips. So be really careful, but in many cases I recommend you to check this because it can give you really great results. So I believe we really walk through local adjustments nicely. So in the future, when we're going to work with this, it will be much easier for us and it will be really comfortable work. So let's move right now into another lesson, still some basics about Capture One. I'm going to tell you how to export images in Capture One.